I need you to be, like, completely honest for a second. How many thousands of neglected screenshots, unread articles, and highly ambitious recipe videos are currently rotting in your camera roll?
Oh, man. If it is anything like mine, it is basically an archaeological dig site of memes I laughed at once in 2019 and, just never looked at again.
Right. Our phones have basically become these cluttered virtual attics. We treat them like emotional security blankets, just stuffed with information we fully intend to organize but absolutely never do.
Yeah, exactly.
So welcome to this supportive, judgment-free, Skillify English deep dive, where today we are unpacking the psychology behind why we endlessly stockpile digital data.
Right. And the mechanics driving this behavior are, well, they're completely different from physical collecting. Historically, if you wanted to keep every newspaper you read, you quickly ran out of living room space.
Yeah, the physical cost forced a decision.
Exactly. But with digital data, the physical cost is basically zero. So clicking delete suddenly feels like an unnecessary risk,
I mean, I see the logic, but isn't there a valid reason to keep some of this stuff? Like, I have 400 old emails saved specifically for the just-in-case scenario.
Ah, the classic just-in-case trap.
Right. Like, if I need a receipt from 3 years ago, I have it. It feels like I'm preparing for an unpredictable future.
Well, you are touching on a classic symptom of why we do this, and let us slow down here for our first word today on our word tour, which is hoard.
Yes, hoard.
To hoard something doesn't just mean to collect it. It means to compulsively store massive amounts of things, usually driven by anxiety that you might need them someday without ever actually using them.
So my 400 emails might feel like preparation, but psychologically, it's really just postponement.
Precisely. It generates what we call digital clutter, which is our second word today. Digital clutter is the stressful accumulation of disorganized, unused files. It acts as the virtual equivalent of a messy, overcrowded room.
Oh, it definitely feels messy. But what about the educational stuff? I mean, I save articles and workout videos because I genuinely want to improve myself.
Yeah, that triggers what psychologists call the illusion of productivity. When you click save on a workout video, your brain actually gets a quick dopamine hit.
Wait, really? Just from hitting save?
Yeah, the brain misinterprets the action. It tricks you into feeling the accomplishment of doing the workout simply by saving the video.
Oh, wow, that is devastating. So saving that grueling 2-hour kettlebell routine was just my brain faking a workout.
Not too much.
Because the real me definitely prefers a 20-minute walk and ordering takeout.
Exactly. You are saving content for a fantasy self. We hoard instructions for the person we wish we were, rather than designing a life for the person we actually are.
Wow. That explains why I feel a weird sense of guilt every time I open my photo app.
Right, because the constant presence of that unachieved fantasy creates silent stress. It is a background noise that exhausts your mind, kind of similar to leaving 30 heavy browser tabs running in the background.
That makes so much sense. But how do we break the habit of trying to capture everything? I catch myself watching a beautiful sunset and immediately taking 15 identical photos.
Well, we do that because human beings fear the loss of an emotion. A sunset brings you joy, and you intuitively know that joy is temporary.
So I try to commodify it.
Yes, you try to trap the emotion inside a JPEG file to somehow own it forever.
But the photo never actually captures the feeling. It just ruins the moment because I am staring at a screen instead of the sky. We have to learn to experience things without owning them.
Which brings us perfectly to our third and final word today.
Right, to let go.
Yeah.
To let go means to consciously release your grip on something you no longer need and, make peace with its absence.
Beautifully said. And a highly effective way to practice that release is the 30-day rule. If a saved screenshot or video sits completely unused for 30 days, delete it.
30 days.
Okay.
That sounds tough, but fair.
The logic is simple. If you survived a whole month without it, you will survive the rest of your life without it.
It is a huge relief to realize that a cleaner digital space translates so directly to a clearer mental space. Deleting all those fantasy self recipes isn't giving up. It is making room for reality.
It really is. That article you saved 3 years ago has probably already taught you everything it was going to.
Exactly. Making room for something better. Before we wrap up today, I want you to consider this. We often think of our digital hoarding as a private habit that only affects our own storage limits. But think about your digital legacy.
Oh, that is an interesting point.
Yeah, 50 years from now, when your loved ones are looking for a few precious photos to remember you by, will they have to sift through 50,000 blurry screenshots of grocery lists and expired memes just to find your face? What else in your digital life might be burying the things that actually matter?